And here we are with the topic, and today's topic is an absolute juicer. Last episode, we discussed the state of play, and we started getting onto the conversation of Wolverine. And from there, we were spinning off, and speculation was starting to form in our mouths. And we said, nope, let's cut that off at the source, save it for the topic of a future episode. Today is that future episode, and we are discussing Wolverine. Do we know any details here? No. Is that the purpose of this? No. Purpose is us for just to open the floodgates, talk about anything we goddamn want to talk about, and speculate the shit out of it before we see this late next year. So, Wolverine. Where do you want to start, lads? I reckon first off, we start, right, with some gameplay stuff. Because I think this is the interesting bit of meat, and I think we can go in quite a few different directions. So let's start here. In terms of gameplay, we already know that the camera is behind the player. That's about it, right? Yeah. That is literally it. What kind of things do you want to see in the gameplay systems that will make this feel distinct from titles that Insomniac have done before, namely Spider-Man? What do you want to see here? I'll kick the ball off rolling if you like, with a very simple one. I want to see the ability to climb up walls like Spidey, but I want to see the claws dig into the wall, and that's how he climbs. And they could then play around with it a little bit by having certain surfaces that you can't climb due to them being made out of, I don't know, another form of adamantium or some of the bollocks they come up with to limit your ability to be able to move around a different space. But I want to be able to see it dig in, and I want like the concrete to like flick out of it. Like I want to see like kind of destruction as you're going up and moving through the environment and leaping through. Like you can't climb on glass. Obvious reason, you'll smash through the glass. Right, so you've got to think a little bit about how you traverse a lot more than you ever did as Spider-Man. What do you think?
I don't know, man. Because sure, it would be like Spider-Man, but never in Spider-Man did you just crawl up a fucking wall. Like you never would. Yeah, you'd run. And Wolverine ain't bloody running. You'd run, or you'd yank yourself up or something, or just swing up there because it's quick. My issue with this is it's going to be slow. And if you got to do it a lot, it's going to be a bit naff. The only reason I'd like that is if there's no massive buildings. But there's got to be at some point. And that would just be long, I think.
Well, I'd imagine you'd have like a similar kind of ability to Spider-Man, you know, like where you can like web shoot yourself up.
You like goes,
yeah, I imagine you like kind of leap up it a little bit, right? And that would be your way to get some verticality. But I agree. I think you don't need like Sky. He's not going to be in the fucking Manhattan, is he? He's not going to be in the center of New York, swinging around buildings. He'll be in like forests and shit like that we've already seen in Madripoor. It's going to have some big buildings there, but I can't imagine it being the massive metropolis that New York is for Spider-Man.
I don't know. I just don't know how traverse is going to work, man. I feel like this game has. Oh, do you think this game's open world?
No, I don't. But I think it's got hub areas that then you'll have those open world parts. Namely, somewhere like we already know, like Madripoor, for example, that will have a cityscape. It won't be as big as like New York central place is, but it would be like a big location where you can have things happening in the real world. You know, like things happening kind of around you for gameplay purposes. And you'll go to those areas for short amounts of time, and then you can fast travel and go to these different locations that will all have their own like kind of Ubisoft-esque things that you can do within those small little areas. That's what I imagine. Rather than like one central location that is a sprawling city for you to explore. I think very much like smaller areas, but a few
several of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of preferred the thought of it's just bloody linear. It's just a linear story game akin to like Uncharted. I'd want it to be like that. However, I can see you hopping on the motorbike for fast travel. So, I don't know. It might be something like that. We don't know. It's speculation, man.
Speculation, man. What do you want it to be?
Speculation. I want it to be linear. I want it to be linear. I want it to play kind of like an Uncharted. But instead of guns, you're slicing the shit out of people. That's what I want.
Okay, what about yourself, Mr. Hoy? Are you falling more in my line when it comes to traversal and things like that, or are you thinking something completely different?
Well, it's almost like you guys have read my script, really, because the question I was going to pose you is, do you think it's going to be open world or a more linear experience? So the open world would be going down the routes of sort of your Spider-Man-esque games, or the more linear, as Spencer said, Uncharted. So you've read exactly what I had in my script for this section, unfortunately. I would side with Spencer. I think what we've seen during the trailer, it feels like it lends itself much more towards a linear story than having these open world kind of areas and hub worlds and all that kind of garbage. We're kind of done with that with Spider-Man. I think with this game, you want it to be different and to strike its own kind of path when it comes to superhero games. Now, Spider-Man did open world and did it very, very well. Do I think things could be improved? Of course they can, but under the next Spider-Man game. Now, I think with this one, you want it to be different. So I think it needs to go down that linear path, such as Uncharted, and have those big set pieces, which wouldn't have you crawling up buildings, like you guys said, or swinging from point to point. It would have story moments and story beats that would really be meaningful and show off all that kind of verticality that you're talking about, but it wouldn't be a slog to go through. I think that's where I would like this game to go.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to both, isn't there? I just think that when you're designing a world for Wolverine to be able to traverse around, it's not too difficult, right? You can get him to climb up a building or whatever, but then at the top of the buildings, you can always have just like telephone poles or electric wires or anything like that. He just goes up and puts his claws to the side and just scoots down them like a zip wire, right? Like you could do shit like that pretty easy, I think.
Who is he? Cole McGrath?
See, I literally just thought about this then, because I was thinking in my head, you can't use the claws, you're going to cut the zip wire. That's not going to work. What if he just grabbed it with his bare hand, because it's Wolverine, and it just rips through his skin, and it's just like his adamantium fingers, because they're not going to break from it, just riding the thing, he's just gripping the zip line, and then when he lands, you see his skin just fucked on his hand.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Or he just, pulls out a fucking rope or something. Just down it, right? Like
really Uncharted.
Yeah. Just shit like that.
The newest Uncharted, which people didn't really like those sections.
Yeah.
I like those sections. Yeah. I like that game.
Okay, Spence likes these sections. Popular opinion.
I can see it being like these little hub area worlds, and then you get those missions where it's like he's got to hunt someone down or whatever, and then you've got to follow the smell trail, right? Like very, like this is why I'm not a game designer, right? Because I'm just taking shit that's feeding everything else. Follow the smell trail. You got to stealth around while someone's walking around. Following the trail, following their scent. Where they been? Kind of like detective mode when you're playing the Batman games, like that kind of thing. But with traversal, which is a case of you just running and fucking jumping off a building and hoping that you claw your way onto something else, or there's a handy telephone pole. And you just whee down
everywhere.
Either way. But no, I think that's quite cool. I think there's the pros to being a very scripted, tight experience is that you do get those kind of the sandboxy elements could be in the combat, right? And how that's presented to you and how you kind of tackle that on. And they can work really, really well. I just think it would be cool. And especially like you were saying, Spence, if you can get on the motorbike.
Yeah.
That would be sick to cruise around Metropole and then just get out, go to a bar, start some shit.
I don't want that though.
No,
it makes me feel like Uncharted Lost Legacy had a hub, and then you just split off from the hub, and I thought it was the worst one by far. And it probably is the worst one because it's kind of just a spin-off. You're not Nate, There's a lot of reasons to dislike it compared to the others, but you play as a woman, But
it's a good reason to hate a game.
Great reason to hate a game. It's the popular one, but I just didn't like that layout. I like just chapter to chapter progressing through the game. You're making constant progress, and you're like, I'm 6 chapters in. It's so easy to talk about that game as well to other people, because you can be like, I'm this far, and someone goes, oh, I'm 2 chapters behind. Don't say nothing. You know exactly how far someone is. It's nice when a game is structured like that, and Uncharted usually is. I keep going back to Uncharted, but that's the feel this game gives me, and I want it. That's what I want. I love a linear game, man. I love linear. I love knowing I'm almost done.
Yeah, there is pros to it, and I'm definitely not siding one way or the other. I'm not going to be disappointed if they do come out and say it's a linear experience. I can just imagine that you're always trying to do bigger and better, right? And when you've done an open world with such great traversal as Spidey, it would be a little bit strange for them to kind of all the lessons they learned from that to then be completely removing it. But then again, as you quite rightly said, guys, you got to make them feel distinct from each other, right?
It's a different game. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is the easiest way to be able to do it. So moving on from traversal itself, in terms of like the rest of the gameplay nuts and bolts, health system, right? We started talking about this and we cut the conversation off at a health system. What the fuck do they do here? How do you want it to be done? Because I think this is the hard thing. Do you want there to be game overs? Do you want it to get to the point where the damage is too much?
You go first, Phil, because I went first last time.
Okay, well, I've been thinking about this and looking at Wikipedia when it comes to Wolverine. Obviously, he's got a range of different sort of skills and abilities, hasn't he? So he's well known for his strength, his durability, his abilities and his reflexes and his slow aging process, all right? And you've kind of got to build that into a health system, which kind of busts the system if you think about it, because what he is invincible to a point, isn't he, right? And he's one of the most durable X-Men there is. He can live through most things. He can take on most things. He can take exorbitant amounts of damage. But when does Wolverine give up? And how does that work? Now, I quite like the aging part of it. A little bit like, what was the game you guys like?
Sifu?
I could see something like that. That sort of element where maybe the more damage or the more times you're downed, the next time you come at it, it could be a little bit Sifu-esque, where you get a little bit older, a little bit slower. Your abilities aren't so great when you get to the aging part of it. Now, it's only a wild stab in the dark, because the more I kind of spitball these ideas, he's just busted. How do you do a Wolverine game? It just feels like whatever you choose, people are going to be disappointed in this area, because one of his most unique attributes is that he's invincible. You know, he can survive all this damage and heal from it. Now, we can heal in games, yeah, sure, but normally we need items to heal in games. Wolverine doesn't necessarily need items to heal in games. He just heals. So maybe you walk out of combat and then you heal. Okay, maybe we could do something where he'll take too much damage within combat where he faints, right? And that would probably be the simplest explanation.
Yeah.
And then if he's out of combat, then he can heal back up to 100%, right? He just walks away from combat, heals back up, and then he's back into the fight, right? And I think that's probably the aspect I'd go down. But I think it'd be interesting to sort of play with the kind of ideas that Sifu came up with. Maybe not exactly, because I don't think it works for the game, but play with that idea that he could age throughout the game, and maybe his abilities aren't so great. You know, we need to take those abilities away. I think when good comic books and good good comic book movies, the best ones are where they lose their powers and they've got to overcome these things without their powers that they rely on so heavily. Now, if we could include that somewhere within the game, I think they're on to a winner.
See, I've got like 3 different ideas of how they could do that, but they're all from different X-Men movies. So one of them, it could be a game over screen, and you like at the end of Days of Future Past, where Wolverine just gets flung into the ocean covered in metal. So he's just trapped. You can't kill him, you can trap him. So maybe he just gets chained up, and he's like this with his claws, like in X-Men 1. He's just got his claws in himself. Cool. And that's a game over screen. Start again. I don't even think there will be one. It'll probably be like Spidey, where you just get knocked out and you just reappear. Not that I died much in Spider-Man, by the way. Another option.
Huge boast.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, good one.
Another option could be the Origins method, where, just the Wolverine method anyway. If he takes enough damage, he forgets his objective. Or something like that. And then again, a game over screen. The other thing would be the Wolverine, where he has that thing inside his chest on his heart, stopping him from regenerating. But they are not doing that, because it's a bad idea.
Terrible idea.
So they're all bad ideas, to be fair. I think it's just going to be a health bar, and out of combat you'll heal. So what I have to assume it is, or maybe if you just play on the defensive for a while,
it will come back. Yeah.
But it seems unless the combat is mega overwhelming, it seems too easy.
I think, well, Raven did it really well, didn't they, in the X-Men Origins game, in that you had a health bar that would regenerate, but it's kind of like how, games used to do it all the time with like regenerative health, where like the screen would start going black or whatever, right? And then it's game over at that point. He's just knocked out, right? Like he'll get knocked out. Wolverine gets knocked out all the time by people. Or passes out for like days at a time and shit like that if the damage is bad enough. So I think you could definitely have it where like, you exit combat for a moment and then it will start to, you will regenerate health. And then it'd probably be something like, the more, you can imagine certain things like, if I take for God of War, for example, we'd have like a berserker meter. And that would then go up to full, and then you go into like a berserker rage, and then the screen goes red or something like that, and then you can't really die then at that point for that period of time, and your extra damage and shit like that, right? Like you can see that kind of thing going in there. Is it very unique? No, but it would give a chance to be able to see all the fucking damage being done to him, like with like we were saying before about how you'd see the skin like be flayed off him from like a shotgun blast, and you see like his chest explode with the adamantium rib cage and shit like that. And then you can also have a cool thing where if then you had a moment where you did have bone claws, the benefit to that is your damage might not be as high, but your healing factor is much better.
Yeah.
So then you could take a lot more in that kind of moment before you go down, but the trade-off for that is you don't do as much damage, right?
Maybe that might be one of the perks of the costumes. Because I see where you might be going with this idea. I like that.
Well, I was actually thinking more so, going back to when you were saying about locations, right, Phil? And I was thinking that the perfect time for me is if we ever go to the Savage Land. Right?
Yeah,
like,
that'd be great.
Oh my God, I love the Savage Land. And it's never really been done that well in modern times. Like, people seem to have forgotten about the Savage Land a lot, but it's so sick. And the point of Savage Land, for those who don't know in the audience, if you're not into comics, is that you don't have your mutant abilities, right? So Wolverine still has his claws. He still has those. I think it was like just one of those things from before they wrote in that it's part of him as being his mutant ability, that he had those. And it was always sick in the cartoon where he'd pop his claws and he'd just be like screaming in pain because it would just like wreck him actually having to use his claws all the time. And it'd just be like pissing out with blood and he'd be like, like it would hurt him a lot.
And Charles could walk in the Savage Lands?
Yeah, that made no sense.
Made no sense. But sure.
Yeah. And then you get some cool ass fucking,
dinosaur guy.
Dinosaur dude. Yeah. Sauron? Something like that, isn't it? Definitely something like that. Yeah. That's a deep cut, that is. But yeah, I think somewhere like that would be a good chance then to really like ramp the difficulty up when you go to Savage Land. And then I hope to God you got a button to press to pop your claws.
Yeah.
I hope to God you do. Like, because there's nothing cooler about like the Jedi games or any games.
I was going to say Jedi. You click the D-pad and it just goes. Vroom.
Yeah, it's just sick.
The
something
claws
cool
are going to
it.
be the devil trigger, aren't they?
Hopefully
he's going to go into devil trigger and he goes, he's got the claws, right?
Oh,
and before he's just doing without.
Oh, that would suck.
That'd suck, bro.
You want to be able to just go in there and
just claws all the time.
You want to be able to just press.
I want devil trigger all the time, Spence.
Yeah, so do I.
I want to be able to just walk into a fight and then just be like, just pop them or just punching people normally, and you might have some combos that are linked to that, and then you could just at any point just click that fucking touchpad in, and I somehow want like just that noise, man, that noise, and then you just like, it's fucking on there. And then you got different abilities that you can use, like blocking or whatever it is. Kind of like the symbiote in Spider-Man, when you go later and you can activate the symbiote, can't you? But I want to just have that lightsaber moment just whenever I want, so I can make it cinematic. I can walk into a battlefield, all the bad guys are screwing up, and then just be like, shik. I just want that, man. And I want different. If I could have the choice, right? If I was them, and this stuff pisses off a lot of people, but I would like this. I would like it to be on the touchpad. If I did it slow, it would be like a slow one, so I could be like slow the cinematic, or just slide
it. Never gonna happen.
That would be sick, though. Do that.
Go back to your Fruit Ninja days.
Yeah, he loves this.
Just a small one on the touchpad, and just be like, because I'd be like, they're getting cooked. Whereas otherwise,
no way, they're gonna limit it. They're gonna limit it because otherwise he's too powerful. They have to put things in the way. I don't think it's just an option that you can just press a button, you do more damage. It's gonna be limited, the claws. Has
That
to
would
be.
suck.
There
I
wasn't
can't
a
see the
moment in the
game
trailer
without
though
it.
where he didn't have the claws.
Yeah, but that's cinematic stuff, right?
I don't know, really.
I
A
think
lot of it was when he was like punching through that person. That was definitely cinematic. That wasn't.
Yeah,
gameplay.
that was the freaking X circle bollock or
Yeah.
triangle circle bollocks, 100%.
Yeah,
Takedown,
the
takedown
quick time
moment.
events.
Yeah.
I just think you can make it so that there's benefits to using with or without claws, right? By having like different kind of combo skills or something like that. Thinking like God of War, the difference between using your axe or using your Blades of Chaos, and you get different kind of combo routes, and they both serve different purposes, right? Like I think there would be like benefits sometimes to not using them and just pummeling people, but I've struggled to really think of why. If I had knives in my hands and I was going to a fight, I would use the knives.
And he's got no problem killing people, has he, Logan?
No.
It's not like a moral choice like Batman where he just doesn't want to kill people. And if he does, you know he's gone badass, right? But with Logan, he's just cool with killing people. So I don't think you have that element to that game.
Not everyone though. You know, he makes friends along the way, and he might fight them sometimes. He's not going to use his claws.
He fights all his friends.
Yeah, he's going to
Who
fight
doesn't he
them
fight?
just with his, like, bang with his headbutt, you know, like in the film when he fought Blob. You know? And this is going to get onto the
Blob.
cameos in a minute, but this is... There are people I'm sure you're going to fight. You might fight... We saw Raven in the trailer. You might fight Raven, and he's not going to use her claws on her. Well, you'd hope not. He has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man.
I
think you have the claws all the time. 100% you have the claws all the time.
Oh, I hope. I really just want to be able to pop them when I want.
I think it's just whenever you fight, they'll come out when you fight. But if you're just walking around like in Jedi, you could press left on the D-pad and they'll come out. Or something.
Yeah.
The touchpad idea is terrible. There's no way they're doing that.
Oh, mate, it'd be sick.
But
dude.
it'll be a D-pad button for
chance.
sure. 100% it's a D-pad button. Or clicking the sticks, like you said.
That's what I'd change straight away. First thing I'd change. Go on there. Put it. If there's a touch screen, we've heard the feedback, and we know that you want a sliding thing for the claws. So that's what main focus of our experience has been how we can incorporate these touch controls that everyone loves.
Everyone.
Go and get your move controllers out.
Yeah, or shake the controller.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'd hate
Have
that.
3 move controllers in each hand.
Oh yeah, that'd be a way to get some more money out of it, wouldn't it?
Fingers.
Yeah, your fingers would be wrecked.
Be
Doing
going back to the Nintendo Wii days, wasn't it, where everything kind of had an extension to the handset. Maybe
Yeah.
you can get claws so you can hold them when you're playing, and you can extend them yourself.
That'd be
You take
sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you had like gloves that you wore and it picked that up from like the camera or whatever.
Yeah, like Power Glove or something.
Get the eye toy out.
Yeah. That's the only way. Just gotta do this with your hands. Well, I suppose we mentioned it, we might as well go there. Cameos, lads. Who do you want to see here?
I don't know if I even want to see any X-Men.
What? None.
I know we will. We obviously will because the final shot was the Sentinel head. Yeah, or like just a big Sentinel. The X-Men are obviously going to be in it, and Raven's going to be in it. But I'm quite happy for there not to be any, for them to be introduced in the future. Because, you know, there's going to be an X-Men game at some point. There has to be. It's not just going to be Wolverine. And I'd like that. I'd like for them to come in. Maybe we see them like post-credits or towards the end of the game. But I don't want to see X-Men all throughout.
I reckon, right, on the subject of X-Men, I reckon there'd be a moment in this where Wolverine's been on a rampage. And then next thing you know, you have the fucking Blackbird turn up.
Needs it.
And you get Cyclops and the fucking boys come down and they're like, stop, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, blah, 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 blah. I can't stop what I'm doing. You don't understand, Scott. And he's like, if you don't stop, I'll make you stop. And then you just get like Cyclops being there. That's what I fucking want, man. I want him. He's gone rogue. He's gone off the deep end. He's not doing it the way he should be doing it. X-Men aren't happy. They come in to have a fucking word, mate. They come in to have a word. Cyclops then just comes down and just jumps out the Blackbird, beams down to land like he does in the show, which is sick. And then you just get that glimmer across the visor. And he's like, I'll make you stop. Oh, yeah, go on, Cyclops. You fucking tell him, mate. Push him through a fucking mountain. And that's how he gets pushed off. He wouldn't stop. He wouldn't listen. Blast him off, Miles. That's the kind of shit I want, dude.
The thing you've got to do when you're bringing in X-Men, I think, and one of the most compelling aspects of X-Men is that it's a soap opera. You know, people actually enjoy X-Men because there's a love story in it. You know, it's like EastEnders, but they've all got superpowers, right? So it's the interplay between the love triangle, which is Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Logan. So why wouldn't we, if you really want to ramp up that aspect, bring that into the game subtly, and then start to build on that relationship between the three of them and how that kind of works and how that plays out, and when Jean Grey is more with Cyclops and more with Logan, and kind of the aspects where they start hating each other because of these things. That would be really, really cool. Do I think they're going to go down that route? Definitely not, right? In the trailer, we've seen Omega Red, we've seen Mystique, and we've seen the Sentinels. They're the three that you've got confirmed. Do I think we're going to see many more? Do you think we're going to see Sabretooth? No. Silver Samurai? No. Lady Deathstrike? No. William Strider? No. I don't think any of those people are going to be in it. I just think we're going to get the three that are confirmed. I think we'll get some special character coming into it, and obviously I would love it to be Magneto if it's any character.
Yeah. Mags would be sick. I think they're saving it. I reckon it's a Sinister job. Sinister's
going to be the big bad guy in the new X-Men 97 season 2. So it's Apocalypse and Sinister. So Sinister's like the low-level boss. Apocalypse is like the big boss.
There's a couple of things that I fucking love, right? And it would be for Cyclops, you mentioned throughout, and he hates Cyclops, right? Like, yeah, he mentioned all the time. G's on about it. Cyclops telling him to stop, whatever it is, right? And then you go to finish, and it'd be like in God of War 2018, the ending, right? Where you're all back, everything seems fine. And then all of a sudden there's like a storm outside and you go out and you get like Thor's hammer, right? But instead it's just like, I told you to stop. And then you just get like, just the visor, or just the leather jacket getting taken off. You're like, fuck, a Cyclops, he's here to sort him out. That, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. That would be so sick, man. I don't know why you hate Cyclops 4 so much, Spence.
Mate, I don't know why you love him so much.
He's class.
I like Cyclops. He's fine. And I tell you what, if it's like he's in like the shadow, like dust is blowing, you can't even see who it is, and then you just see the glint, and you can't make anything else out. That goes hard. That's kind of cool. I don't want him mentioned throughout the entire experience.
What, just telling him to stop?
Maybe hear his name like 2 or 3 times. If I'm hearing him every chapter, however the game is structured, come on, man.
I reckon you just got different X-Men chiming in over the comp, being like, Logan, this isn't the right way. You're not following your head. You know, what would the professor say or whatever? And then you didn't listen, and just a glimmer, just like, oh shit, number 2 is going to go nuts.
This is his first game. He's got to be the good guy in the first game.
Yeah.
You know, people have got to love him. He's the most he's one of the most popular. Well, he is the most popular X-Men,
he's got to be the
isn't
most
he?
popular, then
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah. So people have got to love him in this game. I don't think he turns rogue until, like, you know, the second one to build up a bit of mystique for the third game.
Yeah, actually, I think.
Depends what they do to him. They got to do something bad.
He's got to be good throughout this game.
I disagree, man. I honestly completely disagree. Because Wolverine, he's always kind of just been a jag-off until he joins the X-Men, and then he becomes good. He's always just been a dick.
Yeah.
So they could easily play into that. He could be an absolute bellend until, you know, maybe the end of this game when the Sentinels come in. He's like, oh, X-Men, or Scott, we have to work together.
To me, my X-Man.
Fucking brilliant.
We'll have him saying that, will we?
Fuck, Scott will. Oh,
I want Cyclops to be like proper. I want him to be there. And I want him to everyone's trying to stop Wolverine by like even just talking to him, whatever it is, and then just left no choice. Gotta send out the big guns. Sure, you can send out Storm or someone that could actually really stop him. But send out
Scott ain't stopping him. Scott ain't doing shit.
He'd do a good fight though.
Stand still and do this.
And just blast him, bro. Give him the blast. Give him the optic blast, dude.
It'd be a cutscene. You wouldn't get any gameplay.
No.
That's all it'd be.
Yeah, you wouldn't. One slice is over. But,
Scott's dead.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I'd like
he's
one
in that.
scene, right, where your whole chapter, you're working to fight. You're breaking into a massive building to get to the big bad at the end. And the final, part of the chapter is the big bad is Mags. And as soon as he sees you, he doesn't even look at you. He just goes like that. And you're just in a different continent then. And that's it.
That would be cool.
And that's all you see of Mags in the whole game. I'd love that. And then he turns into a bigger enemy in the next game once you've lost your adamantium or something. You can actually fight him.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
And speaking of losing adamantium and things like that, you mentioned earlier on about costumes, Phil. And when Wolverine does lose his adamantium in the comics, he goes through this crazy mutation and comes all wild and like a weird animal thing. Looks fucking awful. The art in the 90s was something else. Some of it hit Spawn, and some of it just didn't. And that was one. What kind of costumes and things like that are you kind of expecting here?
Well, there's loads, because there's comic books. There's so many different costumes that you can choose from when it comes to sort of Wolverine. Obviously, the yellow and the blue is most famous, but you've also got, a modern take on the yellow and blue. You've got the film adaptation from Hugh Jackman with the yellow and blue. And then going all the way back, you've got the classic brown and tan avenue. They're the most iconic ones that you would think about.
Yeah.
You've got the old man Logan. There's been so many. You've got the uncanny X-Men version of his costume. You've got, he was in armor at a certain point when he lost his healing factor. Maybe that could come into it. You've got the tactical black uniform that he had, which was black and purple, and he was doing stealth missions. All these things could just get thrown in because there were so many in Spider-Man. And I think that's something that they will repeat in this game, where there'll be just 20 odd different costumes that you'll get throughout this game, and you'll play different missions out with these costumes, and then you can switch back to them. Do I think they're going to have any kind of real world effects? We'll see. I don't know. Why would you want to put the armor one on if it doesn't have the armor? I don't know. We'll see how the story plays out, if it makes sense to have these armor as upgrades. But he's already too strong, isn't he? Like Wolverine. I think they might just be superficial.
I'd like it to be superficial.
Yeah.
It would have to be purely cosmetic.
Yeah, because although I like how they did it in Spidey, where there was different abilities you can after you use the suit or you unlock the suit, you can then have that ability to put onto whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to play as Ben Reilly costume the entire time. It's my favorite Spider-Man suit, or one of, and so I would rock that all the time, or Superior Spider-Man, because that is actually probably factually the best costume ever.
Wow.
Oh, it's up there, isn't it? It's that, the black suit, Ben Reilly. Those are the top three for me, anyway. Me personally. Factually right though. Fight me. But yeah, I think having that same kind of style, I don't see why they need to change it from Spidey. I think you're right, Phil. I think they nailed it, and you could just have whatever you want to play as. But then when you unlock the other costumes, you still get the kind of benefits that are associated with those, and you can then stack that into however you want to take on that challenge and play it through. It makes the most logical sense to me anyway. Don't see why you'd fuck with that.
I completely disagree, boys.
Oh!
Because I want this to be a linear story game. That's what I want. I'd like if the suit you have correlates to when in time you are. Because it seemed like there were moments in the trailer, I might be wrong, it seemed like you had bone claws and you had metal claws. And I'm assuming that's past and present. Or that's what I'm thinking of it anyway. And I'd like if you can change your costume at a whim, it's nice when you unlock that costume, but there's no hype there, Whereas in this game, if they're going through different times, which is what I would like to happen, and that's how the chapters work, you'd know exactly when you are because of the suit, and that you'd be like, "Oh, I'm about to do this," and that'd be hype.
The only thing, right, is that I'm thinking about it from a logical standpoint, and unfortunately we got to go here, is that they're going to have digital deluxe version. They're going to have the version you get from Amazon, where you get free exclusive skins. It's going to be that bollocks, right? So the only way you make that work is by having your skins be just purely cosmetic, right? Otherwise, if I bought my Amazon exclusive and I get my tan Wolverine costume, great, awesome. Oh, unfortunately, you only get to use this in one mission, and everyone gets it here. It wouldn't make sense, right?
I think it does. And then maybe
Oh,
maybe that's just when you unlock the suit. and then in New Game Plus you can use it whenever. But that's what I'd want.
Fair. Well, I think there's only one thing left to bring up on here before we call this a day on the speculation. And that for me is when it comes to upgrades, right? There's something they played around in the comics for a little while, and I think they've just forgotten it exists or just totally ignored it because it was stupid. But there was an upgrade in the comics that you had at one point where you could have like fire claws. Yeah, I don't know how they.
Ghost Rider, maybe?
It was after his rebirth, after like he died in a comic event where he was, frozen in liquid adamantium, right, and just left on a mountaintop or whatever, and then somehow get him out. Can't remember how they did it. Probably just Kitty Pryde or whatever. God knows. And after that, he could then his claws, he could just make them put his healing factor into overdrive, if I remember right, and then they just go fire red.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's not like they don't go on fire, is it? They're like, the burning knife videos on YouTube. It's like that.
Yes, it's like that. Do you feel, in terms of upgrades and shit like that, is there anything you even want to see? Because for me, I just want it combo routes, things like that. Like old school God of War stuff, I'm thinking of. Like where then you can, instead of just using the square, square, triangle combo for a light, heavy, you get square, 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 triangle, triangle, circle. And you, like kind of like Batman, I suppose. Kind of like Batman or old school God of War kind of combat. That's what I would like. And that's what you use your skill points in either like combo routes or health or whatever it is. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking. But what about you guys?
I think I completely agree, mate. Yeah. I mean, I don't want fire claws. I don't want ice claws. I don't want freaking...
The more you say it, the more it sounds it's going to happen, doesn't it?
I know. Magnetic
ice
claws.
Yeah.
I don't want none of this bollocks. I want combo routes, like you said, health upgrades, berserker upgrades, because I'm sure there's going to be a berserker bar or something. Make faster regen, stuff like that. That is fine with me. Maybe you can upgrade his sense of smell. Don't change the claws.
Yeah, go into like a detective mode kind of thing, so you can see longer, see like more of threats, like kind of like Uncharted.
Maybe you can like smell out like a dog in a game, right? You can smell out collectibles around the world, and you can upgrade the distance.
That would be good.
Something like that.
What about yourself, Mr. Hoy? Or are you sold on the ice claws?
No, I quite like the idea of upgrading your claws, upgrading your healing factor, senses as Spencer picked up, and then of course you've got your adamantium skeleton. Maybe you don't even start off with the skeleton. They've tricked you a little bit with that trailer, and you start off with the bone claws. You get the skeleton later, where you become a little bit stronger, and your healing aspect decreases a little bit, and you kind of play with those aspects to kind of sit alongside the story of how he collects them. But I don't want it to be an origin story, really. I just want him to experience two different points in time, a bit like Spencer, but I don't want it to be time travel. I think X-Men always finds itself in time travel. And
no, it won't be time travel. It's just like him, like flashbacks.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't want the game to be time travel, because X-Men finds itself quite a lot within time travel genres, and this is the first game out of a series. Eventually we're going to go time travel, aren't we? We're going to see some sort of apocalypse, or who is the character that we picked up on within Tokon, Davey, that we wanted to see?
Which one, buddy?
White character, pink face. X-Men.
Oh, you're on about fucking the Sentinel from the future.
Yeah. So
I can't remember his name.
There's going to be time travel at some stage. It's X-Men, but let's not do it yet. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Keep it to the Savage Land, innit?
Yeah, sure.
Keep it to the Savage Land. That's what we want. Want some Savage Land in there. But I think we've gone quite a bit on this. 40 minutes. Any other thoughts anyone else has got?
Nimrod. I didn't even Google it.
Nimrod. Come
nice.
back to it.
I started typing it and it came to me. Nimrod, yes. Gonna eventually come into this at some stage.
The
whole
only last
Terminator
thing
idea.
I think I'll say, I don't want to see Sabretooth because it's such an easy pull.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see it.
Agreed.
Bring him in at some point later on.
I reckon they do what I really enjoyed about the Spidey game, especially the first one, is throw some light on someone that I got to look up to be like, who the fuck is this? I had no idea who the fuck Mr. Negative was. And I've read Spider-Man comics for fucking forever. I had no idea who this was, and it just made me learning about that character and then going off and you know, pulling up all back issues and things like that really quite enjoyable. And that's what I really enjoyed about like the Batman games, is that sure, you had Joker being the main face of it, but you had some proper deep cuts like Calendar Man and things like that at the time when I played them, I was like, who the fuck are these people? And then I would go to the library or something, rent a graphic novel, and learn about them, right? And read into it. And I really enjoy when games kind of go into the back catalogue quite a lot. And seeing Omega Red's fucking hype as hell. I mean, I think, you know, everyone collectively was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, Omega Red. I agree with you. I don't really want Sabretooth yet. I think, like, you know, if they're not doing a Cyclops ending, then a classic ending could be that Sabretooth's there, right?
I'd hate that.
Why?
If the ending is Sabretooth showing up and then it ends, I'd be like, fucking obviously.
Yeah, I know, but that is like the main guy.
Yeah, but fucking do it in number 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like he'll pull up and it'd be like the end teaser when the game ends, kind of like what Thor was in Rag.
I'd much rather the end teaser be the X-Men. That's hype, bro. Seeing Sabretooth isn't going to be hype. It's going to be expected, you know?
Yeah, but it would still be hype though. Like, I don't think anybody finished God of War 2018 and saw Thor's hammer and thought, well, this is left field. You've talked about like the entire game, right? And then like seeing it was like, oh fuck, we're on for number 2. It's gonna be on. It's gonna cook. Whereas this, all you have to do, you could end it fucking dark. You know, it could be like he's over some body of some person you spent the entire game going for, and it's just Sabretooth. It would go fucking silly.
Yeah, it would, but I don't want it. But it would. You're right, but I don't want it, man. You can just see it coming. But you are right. If it's done well, it's done well.
Yeah, I suppose that's the main thing.
True.
What about yourself, Mr. Hoy?
Well, I could see Sabretooth turning up, but it would be more like hinted at, right? Because generally it's when Logan goes off into the wilds on his own, isn't it? That sort of Sabretooth attacks, and it's kind of Logan versus Sabretooth in the old X-Men comics, and it's not, you know, the X-Men versus Sabretooth, it's Wolverine. You know, it's when he's solo. And he's a little bit more dangerous, and the scraps turn out quite good and quite interesting. But there's one person that we haven't mentioned, and I think it's a bit of a legendary character, which I don't see it turning up in this game, but I'm going to throw it out there just in case, because we've never seen it in the movies. It's the Hulk.
I was going to say the Hulk as well.
Wolverine versus the Hulk.
I'd love it.
Everyone's wanted it for so long in so many different formats, and we haven't had it in the movies. Let's see it in a game. Let's see it in a game. Let's have a really wild twist where the Hulk is somehow the bad guy and you're just seeing it from Logan's point of view.
No, that's what I'd want. I'd want that to be the teaser at the end, is you hear the Hulk roar.
See, I'd imagine it would be like the Hulk would be a perfect flashback sequence that you play through. Like what you guys were talking about the
throwaway thing, is it? Come on, it's like a major character.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to do with it, really. It's just Wolverine gets fucking head kicked in.
Sick.
It happens every time. Like, every time. Like, it'll just get punched a few times, and then, you know, depending on which version you read, if it's, like, the ultimate version, Wolverine gets ripped in half. Like, and his legs get thrown miles away.
Maybe he's a reoccurring boss.
Oh, just constantly appears like, oh, fuck.
It's Nemesis in a game that cannot be mentioned, but for Wolverine.
Jesus.
It's like, oh god, he's coming through the wall. I've got to go.
Maybe that's the health situation. The whole game, you're just running away from the Hulk.
The entire game.
Your health bar is just a distance meter. The Hulk's getting closer the whole time. You've got to try to kill everyone as fast as you can to get away.
That. Yeah.
Before the Hulk gets there.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Oh, it'd be so annoying. Just like, not again. He just gets you, just punches you, and just like, fuck's sake. Yeah, just rips you in half. You're just like, oh, fucking hell. Why did they put this meter in? I was really enjoying exploring the city, traversing on these phone lines. And then the Hulk's here again? You can leave.
I better put on my tactical black uniform so they can't see me.
Yeah.
I'm going to stealth. Good job I've maxed out my stealth abilities.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God I paid for the Amazon exclusive armor set, so I get 40% extra armor. And
I've got Stark armor.
Yeah, I got the Hulk trouser DLC, so he just smells himself, so the meter takes longer to come down.
Oh yeah.
And this is why we're not game designers. Audience, yeah. Oh god, I feel sorry. Well, as soon as we get a chance to that high-end AI that can make a game from scratch, you best believe we'll have Hulk run when you play as Wolverine.
Running away.
Audience, if you've enjoyed our conversation, then thank you very much. I hope you have. If you have, then please put a rating on. You can rate us on any podcast service that you listen to us. Would really appreciate it on Spotify, iTunes, if that's even still they still call it. I don't even know. Don't care about you Apple people. Or YouTube. If you're on YouTube, then hi. Like and subscribe to the video always helps us. If you've got any other Wolverine conversation parts you want to ask us about, something we've criminally overlooked, then write into the email pswetrust@gmail.com or hit us up on any of the socials, all of which are in the episode description. And with that will bring episode 122 to a close. It's been an absolute pleasure to podcast with yourselves, as it always is. I've been Davey.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters, @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. See ya.